What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Cece here with another video. And for today's video, we're going to do a get ready with me using the entire brand ONESIZE while we talk about my career progression. Really talking about corporate and productivity and just how we're advancing our careers, how we're thinking about our careers as Black women in corporate America. So hopefully you guys are enjoying these. I've been really enjoying doing these one brand tutorials. Today we're going to feature the brand ONESIZE. If you've been watching, then you know that is one of my favorite brands. They have really risen to the top for me as far as makeup brands, and I just love all of their products. So we're going to do my everyday full coverage face, and we're going to talk through my career progression. We have a lot of newbies here on this channel, so I get the question all the time asking, how did I get to where I am in my career, and what was my path? So we're going to go through that today while we do a full face of ONESIZE makeup. Let's get started. We're going to get started with the brows. So I'm going to use the ONESIZE Secure the Blur Makeup Magnet Primer. Y'all have seen this primer a million trillion times if you've been watching my channel, because this is probably my favorite primer. But I'm just going to put it on the brows today to make sure to keep my brows intact. So we're just going to add that to the brows. And then I'm going to use the ONESIZE Brow Kiki Micro Brow Defining Pencil in dark brown. And you guys, everything I use will be linked down below. In case I'm in the middle of my story and don't mention it, they'll all be linked down below. My career has definitely not been a straight path. I am currently an employee relations business partner for DoorDash. If you guys watch my vlogs, I kind of talk to you about what I do on a daily basis and all of that. So make sure you check out my vlogs, and I'm usually talking about some point in my career and what I'm doing and all of that stuff. So that's where I am currently, but look, things wasn't always this way, okay? I talk a lot about money and how to increase your salary and increase your worth and increase your impact when it comes to your corporate career, because I think that stuff is extremely expensive. I went from starting my career making $36,000 when I got out of college to making close to $200,000 now a year. So, and I don't say that in a braggy way. I say that because it's important for us to have these conversations so everyone can know what the potential is, right? And I'm not tapping into all of my potential, right? I still have a long time to go, but I feel like these things aren't known. I had no idea that I would be able to make this type of money in corporate America. I had no idea, especially not at my age. So I think it's important that we do have these conversations with each other, because if we don't, then you have the next generation of people, or the people coming out of college, and they're lost like I was and not knowing what they want to do and thinking they're just going to be in this, minimum wage rat race forever. And that does not have to be the case. So starting out of college, I got a job as an assistant manager at a retail paint store. So Sherwin-Williams, the paint store. I worked as an assistant manager. I was in their management training program. And so what drew me to it was, one, their headquarters was here in Cleveland, Ohio. Well, is in Cleveland, Ohio. And so I was like, okay, so, without having to move, I can take this job as the assistant manager in their management training program, and I can kind of work my way through and then make my way to the corporate headquarters. Look, I knew I didn't want to work retail forever, but I took the job as a means to an end. I knew this was a large company and there were a lot of opportunities, and there would be a lot of internal growth that I could benefit from. So that's the reason I took the job as the assistant manager. I worked in that job for about 2.5 years. I was miserable. They offered me my own store. I turned it down because I was miserable as the assistant manager, and I knew I was going to be even more miserable as the actual store manager. And the pay bump wasn't even that great in order to make that jump. So I turned that down. I think my dad and Mark, who was my boyfriend at the time, thought I was insane, but I was like, look, I am miserable. And if I'm this miserable right now, I am going to be even worse if I get this, if I take this other job. So I kept applying. Finally, a customer service position opened up. At that time, I thought I wanted to be in marketing. So I was looking for marketing roles. And, nothing was popping. It was like all sales roles. And I knew for a fact I didn't want to do that either. But then a customer service position opened up at the headquarters. And I said, oh my God, that's freaking perfect. I'll be downtown at headquarters. I can network and I can get into the field that I want. So I started in customer service, and it was basically, how you have the stock trucks? Well, we placed the order for the stores, their stock trucks. That's what we did in customer service. And if, we would track their trucks, like if the truck was late or something like that, they would call us, we would track the truck, and, if they forgot to put something on their weekly order and they needed to add it, we would place emergency orders for them and things like that. So I did that. Then I moved into another position in customer service where we were ordering traffic paint for companies and cities and stuff like that. So finally, around this time, I had started my MBA program, and I had like a family friend and a cousin who worked in HR, and they always talked about their positions on Facebook, right? Like all the time, I would see them talking about it. And I still at this point had no career direction. And I was like, HR sounds interesting. So I never talked to them about it. It's funny because I talked to them afterwards about it, and they were like, why didn't you just ask? And I was like, I don't know. But I never talked to them about being in HR. I started doing research as I started to see them post, and I was like, oh, this seems like it would be interesting. I'm going to get make my concentration for my MBA in human resources management. And so that's what I did. So then I pivot and I start to look for HR positions. And lo and behold, I was in my first customer service position for about a year. I was in the second one doing the traffic paint for about another maybe year or so. And then an HR coordinator position opened up. They were starting a brand new division. And I was like, yes, this is great. Got that position, right? That was in 2014. That was in 2015. No, 2014. That was in 2014 that I got that position. So that was awesome. Real quick, I'm about to use the ONESIZE Secure the Sweat Primer. This is the brand new primer I just got. If you guys have not seen my Sephora hauls, check them out. There are a ton of them. Make sure you go check them out. Because I got a lot of good products, including a lot of good ONESIZE products. But anyway, circa 2014, I get this HR coordinator position. I'm super excited about it. I worked in that position for about 2 years. I was bored out of my mind. My bra keeps showing, y'all. I was bored out of my mind in that position. It taught me a lot, don't get me wrong, but probably about 6 months in, I felt like I had mastered the position and I was just bored. But nothing else in HR was opening up, and I had decided already that HR was what I wanted and where I wanted to be, but nothing else was opening up. So I just sat in that position for a while, and I wasn't hardly making any more money, right? I started at $36,000 when I got out of college, and at that time, I had been at the company in 2016, early 2016. I had been at the company for about 7 years, and I was making $48,000. So 7 years got me $12,000. That is hardly a raise for 7 years, right? So I was like, this isn't working. And so I started looking outside the company. Now, what had stopped me from looking outside the company before was that everyone kept telling me, oh my gosh, you're in such a good company. This is a great company. Don't leave. Don't look for another position. You could retire here. And that's what I kept hearing. So that's what I was planning to do. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, it's going to take me forever to make the type of money that I want to be making. I mean, it would take me way too long to make that type of money. And what is the point of retiring somewhere if I have to live the entire time unhappy, the way I don't want to live? Not to mention, that company is like super old boys club. Like, there's no Black people at the top at all. And so it wasn't the type of organization that I was understanding that it wasn't the type of organization that I really wanted to be at long term. So I started looking outside the company and I got a position as an HR manager. So I jumped from an HR coordinator to an HR manager at one of our local colleges. And I was so excited. The raise wasn't that good, but I knew the fact that I had that HR manager title. This color is a little off. I knew since I had that HR manager title that I would be able, if I worked that position for a little while, I'd be able to pretty much go wherever I wanted to go. And that's what I was banking on. So I think I left that HR coordinator position making like $48,000, and the HR manager position at the college was only paying me $50,000. They did give me a $5,000 signing bonus, which was nice, but they were only paying me $50,000 in salary. So I didn't really get a raise, but I got that title bump, right? And that's what I was searching for because I knew that would help me secure my next position. I'm just gonna grab a dab of another color. I have two of these in two different colors. So I'm gonna grab a dab of the second color. But yeah, I knew having that title under my belt would definitely get me where I wanted to go. I just had to work at that job at the college. I was thinking a year. 2 days into that job, I knew for a fact that that wasn't for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I made a mistake. I think I should have stayed where I was. I made a mistake. I messed up, right? 2 days in, that's what I'm thinking. I just knew it wasn't right. So I was on the job hunt again. Started looking. About 6 months later, I found a job at our local casino downtown, another HR manager position. And this is where I really felt like I started to hone my skills. This is now 2016. So in 2016, I left the first company I was with for 7 years. I left there in March. I got to the college in March. By October, I was at the casino. So I had 3 jobs in 2016, which is why I tell you guys all the time, if you have to pivot jobs, you do that. I don't care how short of a time you've been at a job. That has not hurt me one bit, pivoting in my career like that. It has actually helped me. So in February of 2016, I went from $48,000 to March of 2016, I went to $55,000 with the signing bonus that the college gave me, to October in 2015, where I went to $68,000. So I had a $20,000 increase within a 6-month time span, just because I pivoted jobs and I listened to myself and I said, this isn't for me and I can't stay here. So think about that. And that's not even a huge jump, right? So I loved the casino. I loved the team. I loved what I was doing, but the career progression was very, very minimal for me. Look, career progression and career advancement is super important if you like to stay at one company. But if you like to pivot companies, I would let you know that going into a company looking at their advancement opportunities is always a good thing, but it's not always necessary, right? So huge advancement opportunities are never really top of mind for me, because I know for the most part, I'm probably not going to be at the company 10 years down the road, 7 years down the road, hell, maybe even 5 years down the road. So think about what your goals are, right? So when I got to the casino, I knew that I didn't really care about career progression. I just wanted to learn the skills and get that experience under my belt. But by the time I hit that 2-year mark, I knew, I was starting to get that itch, and I was like, it's about time to get out of here and find my next adventure and find my next pay jump. So you know me, that's what I did. I ended up at the company I was with before I got with DoorDash. I ended up there, and that gave me a $22,000 pay raise. By getting that job jumped me from $72,000 to $93,000. So yeah, a $21,000 bump, again, just by switching companies. This was another HR manager position, which was awesome, just amazing. Then I was in that position for 1 year, and I got a raise and a promotion with another $20,000 jump. So from 2016 to 2020, from 2016 to 2020, I jumped from $48,000 to $113,000 in pay. That is how much my pay went up in 4 years, which is super crazy to think about. But I did all of that because I knew when the job wasn't serving me, and I knew when to pivot, right? You have to know when to get out of the situation. Even, I understand we are in dire straits right now with the job market and the economy, but there are still jobs out there. And you got to know when to pivot, girl, okay? You have to know when the job's not serving you, when the salary's not serving you. Stop listening to other people and do what's best for you, your career, and your pockets. So with that raise, which got me to my 6-figure number, I feel like 6 figures was definitely at the top of the list for me as things I wanted to accomplish. And so it felt so good to actually accomplish that in 2020. So I stayed in that position. That was also plus bonus too. I had it was like 113 plus bonus, which was awesome. So fast forward to 2020, probably the end of 2021, I don't know. I was ready things were changing at my current company, and I was ready for a new adventure, and I was ready to make more money. And an opportunity opened up at DoorDash, and here I am. 1 year later, I started at DoorDash in March of 2022. And I have been here ever since. It has been such a great career move for me. I've learned so much working in big tech, and I don't know. I feel like it's going to be hard to go back. Even with all of the backlash and all of the crap that big tech is going through right now, and DoorDash was no stranger to it. DoorDash has been through it too. I just feel like it's going to be hard to go back. I've enjoyed my time at big tech. I'm enjoying my time in big tech, and I really do love my job. At this point, I am making close to $200K, and it feels so good to be able to say that I definitely trusted in myself and trusted in my instincts, and I feel like I'm being paid my worth. I definitely feel like I'm being paid my worth. Now, do I want to make more? Absolutely. Will I make more? Absolutely. But for right now, I'm happy with where I am. I'm very happy with where I am. All right, let's go ahead and use the One Size setting spray. You guys know this is my favorite setting spray. It's my second one. I actually just bought this back up at the Sephora sale. And then we're gonna use this new, this is the Ultimate Lifting and Lengthening Mascara by One Size. This is the Fantasize. This is brand new. Brand new to me. I don't know if it's brand new to the line, but it's brand new to me. Oh, my lashes look so good. I'm gonna go on with this blush topper to give me just a little bit of glow. There's this blush topper in here and it has like some glow in it. In this one right here. I'm just gonna go in with that. But y'all, I like to tell that story because it shows that everyone's path is not the same, right? I think it's hard to imagine people who, I don't know, you think have made it somewhere, questioning themselves or in a position where they don't know what's next. And that has been my entire career. I've learned to listen to my instincts, but my entire career has been just a series of questioning myself and am I good enough and do I belong here and how do I get to the next level? Trying to knock down doors and ceilings and walls, and everyone's path is not straight, right? I know someone who's been in human resources since she was in high school and she had like internships and stuff and she's just worked her way through and she's amazing. But for me, I didn't start there, right? I started at a paint store. I started managing a paint store and had no idea where I wanted to go. HR wasn't even on my radar when I got out of college, but I had no idea what it was. I had just never thought about it. And so having these conversations about different career paths and how your life can go, your life can be totally different in a year's time. Like I feel like 2016 was such a pivotal year for me, that year where I finally left that first company I'd been at. And I feel like I had finally stepped into my groove by the fall of 2016 just from making those moves. I learned a lot. It taught me a lot, made a lot of money, and I started to get more confident and feel really good about myself. So your life can change so fast. You just have to learn to trust your instincts. And that's what has been the biggest teacher for me, is making sure that I'm listening to myself and blocking out all the noise. Had I listened to Mark, who was my boyfriend at the time, my dad, I would have been managing a paint store and been miserable, right? So I knew I didn't quite know what was for me at that time, but I knew what wasn't for me. And I stayed away from that stuff. And if you keep just staying away from the things you know that aren't for you, it'll lead you to what is for you, if that makes any type of sense. Okay, let's round this out, guys. Lastly, we're gonna do the lips. I don't have any One Size lip products, so I'm gonna use my favorite little lip gloss. This is the Hourglass, I think it's called the Voluminous Plumping Lip Balm or whatever. It's below. But this is by Hourglass. It's my favorite one. It's in the shade Trace, which is just a very pretty brown color. I love it because it's so pretty, but it's easy and simple. Like I don't need a lip liner. I can just slap it on. And when I'm out and about and it wears off, I just slap on another layer. And I don't have to be super precise about it. It's perfect for easy wear. So that's it, you guys. This is the final look. This is my everyday, like if I just am working that day, this is my everyday face. It's the face that I love to wear for work. I don't do makeup every single day, but when I do, it's this quick and easy face. I can do this face in probably about 7 to 8 minutes when I'm not blabbing the whole time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this chat. I usually do these voiceover style, but today I thought I would just sit and chat with you guys. If you like it this way or the other way, let me know and I'll certainly get some more out for you. Also, let me know what brand you would like to see next. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you and I'll talk to you in the next one.